Hello, y'all. Welcome to Bamm Raw TV. I'm Bamm, aka 411 Giant. Now, in this here episode here of Bamm Raw TV, we're gonna piggyback off of what my dudes been calling me and they've been asking me about an interview on Street Element. The Element interview is when DC and Louisiana get into it down at Pollock. York City. Hello, y'all. Welcome to Bamm Raw TV. I'm Bamm, aka 411 Giant. Hey, don't forget to go get my book, Am I a Monster? Go get this book here, man. There's some good reading here. And that's all me. It's a little bit of all me. I want you to hit that like button, the subscribe button, and that bell icon so you know when my next video coming out now. This video here was brought up by a lot of requests going on. We're gonna piggyback off of what dudes been calling me and they've been asking me about an interview on Street Element. The Element interview is when DC and Louisiana get into it down at Pollock. And in this interview, in all respect to, I generally do not address different things unless I'm addressing for the truth, because my thing is I don't do that mouth music back and forth. I don't do that. I'm establishing what I'm capable of doing, and I don't need to do it with my mouth. So I don't do the mouth music back and forth. That's why I don't get into certain things. But if somebody asks me the truth about something or to elaborate on something, I've been getting a lot of calls and people asking me, and they send me to it, and I watched it and I listened to the individual. And my thing is, I'm gonna tell you the truth about the situation, right or wrong, but I'm gonna give you enough information for you to be able to understand. See, when a person who are ignorant of certain things speak on something, he's not lying. He's speaking of what he know, the limited knowledge he had access to without knowing the history of this situation. And I'm basically gonna give y'all the history of this situation if y'all care to hear about it. If not, then it's your choice. But enough people done got at me that I'm gonna get on it and I'm gonna say. Now he says this individual from Florida, he get on, he tells about him and his homeboy and they separations and stuff like that. You got that in every car. That's part of doing time. He talk about how people line up to see who come off the bus when you come out. I done been to 7 USPs. I ain't been to no FCIs. I've been to 7 USPs. That's what they do. They want to see who coming out there. If your name is good all over the system, you ain't got no business being worried when you get off the bus. You get off the bus, you gonna have a man gonna give you a knife. If he don't give you the knife, you ain't stopped learning how to use your hand. You're supposed to learn how to take a knife and use that knife if you have to. So it's no reason to be scared when you're getting off the bus if you about your business. Because you'll kill a Negro with a handkerchief if you have to, if that's you about your business. Now, the individual tells that he seen DC, and what he says is true about Coco. These individuals that he's speaking of, I was in the cell next door in the special management unit with Coco, and I was in there with Juvenile, which is one of the dudes who actually put in work when DC and Louisiana got into it. And I agree with him about Champ. I agree, much respect to DC. DC go hard, but DC ain't the only place they go hard. You got New York, you got Florida. It depends on what man's on the compound. You got Jersey, you got every state people go hard if the right one on the compound. If the right people not on the compound, then that's what you gonna have. You gonna have people that can be ran over by people who got they top of the line people on the compound, and you just got some yes mans on the compound. And so that's what I'm my part of the story come in at. And the thing is, he says that 7 dudes, and I can disagree based. I talked to actually Jeremiah White, juvenile, who did some of the work down there, put in work for Louisiana. One of the very few, which I agree with dude, one of the very few who put in work out of 30, 40 dudes. They was just faking with numbers. Jeremiah was in there with me. So these dudes I talked to personally. Coco wouldn't even come out. He was next door to us. He wouldn't even come out and going on. But I got the conversation from Jeremiah. He was next door to me, and everything was verified. And he did. He was jacking off on a woman, but he didn't pull it off in front of the dude. The dude walked around into his area going on, which I mean, whatever it is, he walked out his area. So he didn't draw down on the dude, but the dude was using that as a way to get him out. But they had a soft car. Louisiana had a soft car because all the men was gone. But like I said, don't take no respect from Champ. Me and Champ got together and we settled several situations because we know if we both go to war while I was down there, it was gonna be a war. Men respecting men going on. And I got big respect for him going on. So now in that situation, the guy says from Florida, he said that 7 DC dudes ran through 40 dudes. Louisiana dudes. And I could say probably the number was probably close to what he's saying and going on. Because some people was just out there for decoration and going on. The dude like Jermaine White and a couple of more others, they the only one was about work. But it wasn't just 7 DC dudes, because some of the Virginia dudes, and not only that, some of the DC dudes who was involved in it came to the special management unit. Lala called me, told me the whole story and apologized because he said that he knew that if I'd been down there, it wouldn't happen. Me and Lala was previously up in Marion, USP Marion together. We rode together. I fooled with DC dudes going on. So, but if you got the bad management going on, then that's what's going to happen. Now, the situation happened, and I can, based on my knowledge of being in there with Jeremiah and going on, the thing was, this guy Foolish, who he speak of, Champ had told him, say, hey, man, they got together and they talked about it going on. They said Champ had gave it a pass. They said the guy Foolish went running around instead of saying it wasn't over. And when he kept running around saying it wasn't over, so Champ was like, hold on, man, you telling me it ain't over? So when Champ was hearing that it wasn't over from his people, that's when Champ went on made the move. Now, if you got something, you can give somebody your word. Ain't nobody under you supposed to be telling people that it's not over. Now, what Louisiana Car should have did, they should have punished the dude Foolish because they said he ran on him. He ran, took off running like a coward. Said that when it happened, said his leg looked like wheels turning over. He was running so fast. But those the dudes who do all the talking and going on, and all that agitated talking and going on, they caused that. But it wasn't, like I said. Now, why? And now again, I say on every car, I seen DC get wiped out by California. I done seen New Jersey or New York get wiped out by their opponent. If you ain't got the right men's on the compound, you can have a bunch of 40, 50 bodies. If they ain't men's or ain't ready to go face that steel and they ain't willing to deal with that, 7 of them can run through them if that's the situation. Because you're looking at body count. And when you're dealing with men's, I don't care how many in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how many in front of me when I come to do what I got to do. And that's the way Champ is. And I give him respect for that. And like I told him, y'all ain't did nothing wrong. If that dude Foolish said that it wasn't over, if somebody had told me it wasn't over from any car that I got into it with, I'd been smashing them too. Simple as that. That's life in the federal system. So the guy says that they came out there at 7. They wrecked. They went on them and everything. Said Foolish, he was there and everything. So they took care of the DC, took care of their business. But my thing is to go further with that, explain that in 2000, he says he got there in 2009. And in 2009, somewhere after this happened. I didn't really keep following the video too much. But He said after 2009. Now we look, if you listen to my situation in 2007, middle part of 2007, when Louisiana got into it with each other. Myself and homeboys from Shreveport got into it with our New Orleans homeboy. So now we clashed. And when we clashed on that compound, there were soldiers going at soldiers. Boom. We night playing, we going, soldiers. Bodies bleeding, boom. So people had to get us away from them. They had to ship. So now look at the history of that. 2007, middle part of 2007. Now, when the stuff happened, we down there after all this stabbing going on, all these men just stabbing each other, going toe to toe. Ain't no hound ain't running, I ain't running. Eight ain't running, all these. So when you go in toe to toe like that, when the establishment get us all locked down, when the establishment lock all us down, they ship most of us. As a matter of fact, they ship all of us. They ship all of us who was on the yard involved in that confrontation. So what that tells you is they took all the main men off the yard. All the men who slang iron was out there on their yard. So all the men who slang iron from Louisiana, and I ain't just saying it about Louisiana because I'm going to take it to every other car. All the men from Louisiana who slang iron for real, they got shipped because we crashed out on each other. Okay, so now, in that left who? You got a yard full of pacifists or outright dudes or dudes who ain't really cut like that. A couple of good, short, strong men come in off the bus, but it ain't enough of them. We done lost too many. And that happened to it. That didn't happen to D.C., that didn't happen to New York going on. If they shipped all the major men from D.C., like they did in Colorado, to another spot because they got into it. I remember when they got into it with California. California sit there and they outnumbered them and going on. So it was one time a DC dude couldn't even come to US Florence because they were so outnumbered by the California dudes, you know what I'm saying? Because it's in California district. Tough Slim broke that cycle. When Tough Slim, 2 or 3 DC dudes come on that compound, them California Negroes wouldn't let them stay there. They'll pull up on them and run them off. Tough Slim, Marky, pulled on that compound. I watched him walk on that compound. I was scared for the little dude. He little skinny, light-skinned dude. Tough Slim walked on that compound. Cause he fooled with men from everywhere. I didn't know him at that time. We became tight like that. He whooped in that cell block, got him a knife, walked back out there. California dudes pulled up on him and going on. Tough Slim told him, I ain't going nowhere. Now the question is, who want to die first? Tough Slim he opened that yard back up for DC. Not because the DC dudes, they was outnumbered. It's 300 and something. It's 300 and something California dudes because the Bloods and the Crip will come together when it's a California issue. And then in between California come together. But after that DC and California got into it because of the numbers of California, any DC dudes come on their compound, 2 or 3 come on the compound, they let them out at a time. California dudes surround them, send them right on. They go right on back up. Some would even come out. Tough Slim walked out there by himself. I watched the man through the window. He walked out there, he went in that unit, got a knife, come back out. When they walked up on him, he stood, put his back up against the wall, and because he had men that fuck with. I didn't fool with him at that time, but he had men like C-Murder, other men like that. They were sitting back because they were going to roll with him because he a man everywhere he go. He ain't just no man when he get with his homeboys. He the one make his homeboys better. Dudes like him, Tone, Malik, Tough Slim, them, they Champ, they make their car roll. They make their car better. You're having a bunch of people somewhere, ain't nothing but a bunch of people in the way when doing a whole lot of hollering and screaming when it happens. Now, like I said, I'm not picking at the little dude for his ignorance on the situation, but I'm saying what they did, what Champ and them did was not amazing because we were dilapidated. The Louisiana car had been, all the soldiers was gone. All the soldiers had battled each other and cashed each other out, canceled each other out. And that's what happened in a lot of other places. You go right here, if you take all the main New York dudes out the compound, you take all the main Latin keys come out the compound, and some other rival force come there going on, some dudes that they get into it, they're gonna lose. All their men's is gone. All their real men's. The rest of these people ain't nothing but body counts. When you got a car, if you got 50 people in there, you probably got 10 go hard men's or 20 go hard men's, and the rest is body count. You ship them 20 men's, if you ship 19 of them, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing to work with, and that's the story that my homeboy. Then people say, "Hey man, is that true?" Yeah, it's true. They did run through them. They run through them because we was gone. If I had been down there, but I had to stand on the side that I stand on. If we'd have been down there, we couldn't have squashed that. How? 8. Them dudes would have been standing beside me, and we'd have been them knives that would turn toward each other would have been turning toward them. And this ain't nothing personal. This happened in all of this the way the federal system works. If you lose your top men's, whether over an incident or clashing with each other, over an incident, if they put an investigation on them and they doing too much and they clear all your men's out and going on, all the men's who put in work, then you got a weakened car. You got a weakened car that don't have no structure, don't have no strength. You may have a few in there. They got some strength, but they can't push it like the men's who once you get out there, they're about getting it dead. You know what I'm saying? Negotiation is good. It's a good thing to keep peace on the compound. But when it's time for war, it had to be with extreme prejudice. It has to be done with extreme prejudice. You see what I'm saying? And Champ know that. Champ one of the best dudes it is, man. Champ, dude don't care about money, don't care about that. He know how to hustle, he going on. He ain't no parasite. That's why he's short. And another thing, short like me. Short people, we have to make up for our height. We have to make up in seriousness, aggression, but agitation ain't nothing we have. When we got to do something, we ain't proud of it, we do it, and we do it over. All that energy by being nervous and going on by doing something, you can save that energy for the battle. Don't wear yourself out being nervous before the battle. You get in the battle and you dance and y'all dance and whoever come out with the best waltz, then that's what you go with. But on that situation on Street Elements, he's talking about when the DC dudes and Louisiana got into it, and Louisiana didn't put up the proper fight in which what we used to putting up. We didn't have the right mans in place, and I say that not just for Louisiana. I say that for any car who has been defeated. Every state got men's. Every state with the right men's on the compound, you don't want to fool with them. Every state with the right men's together, you don't want to fool with them. But when they not, they vulnerable. It didn't happen to all of us before. It didn't happen to DC. It didn't happen to New York. It didn't happen to the Latin Kings. It didn't happen to the GDs. It didn't happen to every set on the yard. So when the guy telling the story, he don't know the history. You know, say tell the history. Say, you know what? Louisiana had just lost all its power players, but he didn't know the history. So I'm giving y'all the history. Louisiana lost all their power players, so naturally they was easily ran over because DC had their power player, La La. I was in Marion with La La. I smooth go hard. They had all their men on the compound that go hard. So I mean, it's no excuse because that's a loss that Louisiana take. I don't care about losing. I mean, I take a loss just as quick as I take a win, as long as I do my part, as long as I'm in the fight. Not to be in the fight, that's the only sin in my book. Okay, then now wanted to tell y'all about that and wanted to satisfy my people with the who's calling me and asking me, did it happen? Yes, it did happen. I was in the cell with Jeremiah White, who was one of the few men that put in work down there. And I actually, La had come down there, La Smooth, that was in Lafayette, that was in Marion with me. And he told me, apologized and told me, man, Bamm going on. And a couple of other DC men come down there and they talked to me and they explained, man, that wouldn't happen if you had been here. And everybody point to this guy foolish. That they said that it was left alone. The Champ had left it alone. And this dude sit there and came running around talking, we ain't through with it. We still such and such and such. Very scary motherfucker who took off running. And left all them men there to actually get butchered because half of them didn't know what they were doing. So I mean that's on that. It's on street element going on. Well, DC and Louisiana got into it down there, USP Pollock. And as far as Pollock being the most dangerous compound. I've been on all the most dangerous compound it is, and I think except Beaumont. I think I think Pollock would be a number three as far as the body count because they got a lot of violence, but they got a lot of imitation violence with stabbing and stabbing here, just like us. We went on the compound, and I wasn't because I was trying, because I definitely was trying. When I was at USP Florence, we had 13 bodies in a year. The most bodies USP Pollock had in a year has been probably 3 or 4. Lewisburg had the record before then. Lewisburg had 8 bodies a year. You know, Bloody Beaumont only had probably about 6. So on the place of being that, it depends on who you is, what excites you. If you made it to a FCI, you was in your right place at the FCI. I never made it to one. They never would put me in one. I was USP material until I was Supermax material. So, I mean, what's exciting to you ain't exciting to me. Or ain't exciting to the next man who's serious about his business. But again, respect to all parties involved. I just want to clear that up for my homeboys and the men who was calling me and asking me about that. And I go back and I'm recap and say, number one, DC dudes, I give them their respect. They're about their business. But so is Louisiana dudes, if the right ones are there. So is New York dudes, if the right one's there. So is Baltimore dudes. So is Philadelphia dudes. So is Latin Kings. So is GD. So every set of people in that federal system, every group, every state got some hard to die men, and they serious about it. You let 3 of them get on the compound, that changed the whole context of the compound. Or you get that right one on there, you can make the other step up. So much love and respect. I just wanted to give y'all that information. I hate for stuff to be out there. It's a lot of stuff that I know that people say, and unless somebody bring it to me, I don't get into the mouth music thing going on. I can correct it because I've been to these places and I've done this. I can correct it from what they done heard through a second party. I either get my information that I get to y'all, I either was there and I witnessed it, and I know I'm an inside man everywhere I go. There's no penitentiary I could be on that I've been let out what's going to happen on that penitentiary. Now, I either get it from me being there personally, or I get it from like Jermaine White. I get it from the dudes who were down there actually involved who did something. Not the dudes who were running around scattering like a chicken with their head cut off. They ain't seen nothing but fear. You can't see with fear in your eye. Jeremiah White stayed there. Coco, the one who stuff all started weak as all know what. Cow wouldn't even come out to sell the wreck while he was next door to us. So, and I'm just calling it like it is. I don't mean truth ain't disrespectful, and I don't mean no disrespect to nobody. But I'm gonna tell you the truth if you ask me. So don't ask me unless you want to know it. One love. Appreciate y'all. Hit that like button, hit that bell icon, and hit that subscription button. And keep it with Bamm Raw TV. We finna build this thing up going on. We steady moving. I'm finna start bringing out my stuff with El Chapo, with Wayne Perry, King Blood, and we finna move on to the next level of this plan. So, hey, love y'all again, man. Thank y'all. Appreciate you.